Time magazine named Caitlin Clark its Athlete of the Year, and in the article, and I'm curious what else you found interesting about the article, because she also said that college coaching, women college coaching, is pretty terrible. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has been kind of built on them. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Not surprisingly, Megyn Kelly then responds on Twitter, she's on the knee, all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. The self-flagellation, condescending, fake, transparent, sad. Not surprising that she's on the cover of Time as the Athlete of the Year, and always weaponized and polarizing in this day and age, even though she is just incredibly benign. Like, she has not done much of anything to actually stir real controversy.
No, and I guess the only way she would have made Megyn Kelly matter is if she came out in support of Black Santas, because we know that Megyn Kelly only believes Santa Claus can be white. I mean, that's the person whose opinion is chiming in on this. So it's not surprising she would have a problem with Caitlin Clark actually acknowledging the contributions, the sweat equity that Black women have put into this game. And you can tell a lot. Well, let me just big picture this real quick, though, Dan, is that as Caitlin Clark's popularity was rising, and particularly after it exploded when her and Angel Reese met in that national championship game, she did the infamous Angel Reese to John Cena motion, and we saw a certain section of people galvanizing around Caitlin Clark. We saw it then, and it only continued to grow. And there was a nice amount of disingenuous people who were not basketball fans, certainly not they were not women's basketball fans, to be clear. They were not fans of women's basketball, but Caitlin Clark became their avatar. She became their vessel to express a lot of the hateful and racist opinions that they had about Black women, about queer women, and about the WNBA overall, to some degree about all women. So she became their sort of bat signal for that. And now that we're learning more about Caitlin Clark. And this, by the way, this was not the first time she said this. It may be the first time she really said it at length, because she didn't do that many one-on-ones this year in 2024. But she certainly she's been asked questions sort of along these same lines before. And while she didn't specifically mention white privilege, she has certainly always had a level of respect and reverence for the pioneers that came before her. I mean, one of the viral moments involving Caitlin Clark was when she finally met Maya Moore. Maya Moore is her favorite player ever. And that, by the way, shows the growth of the WNBA. You know, a lot of the players that when the WNBA first started, they had no professional model to look at in America to say, oh, I grew up watching this, professional women's player, because that possibility didn't exist. Caitlin Clark represents the generation that actually grew up watching the WNBA, familiarizing herself with this league, understanding the legacy and the history of this league. And all she was doing is giving a nod to that. And she knows, like a lot of white players in the WNBA know, and they've said it, Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart, is that they get elevated, they get marketed, they get pushed in a way that Black women in that league who have accomplished similar things do not get the same endorsement opportunities, the same marketing. The marketing riddle of the WNBA prior to this moment has been, how do you market a league that is 70% Black, where a third of the players identify as queer? How do you do that? And that it has been a lot of marketing mistakes the WNBA has made in trying to sort of minimize that part of their identity. Or, a lot of people have certainly for years speculated that they push certain players because they're trying to kind of galvanize and interest white America with players they believe that they will get behind. So this has been a long-standing conversation in the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark, in her sense of leadership, I mean, she just stated the obvious. And now she has some very predictable people angry at her because they never were fans of hers. They just like the idea of weaponizing her success against other Black women who they can't stand.